If someone named Mrs. Weisenheimer said she would sell you some rare trains, you might think she was pulling your leg. But John Potter's experience with a Mrs. Weisenheimer led him to one of his favorite model trains and favorite stories.
Some collectors own so many trains they can barely remember who they bought them from. And even if they did remember, the details of their trains' past lives are sketchy at best. But not John Potter. The stories behind the trains in his layout are just as colorful to him as the brightly painted trains themselves.
The story adds the life to the train. The fact that it was somewhere along the line lovingly played with, misused maybe a little bit, and put away for the next day. I love to find things through private homes. Buying through dealers, buying through shows, buying through auctions is always very sterile. I like to sit down and get to know the people. I like to take and talk to them. I like to figure out if this was theirs, if it was something they shared with a brother, an aunt. A woman comes to me, nice little old lady, pleasant, gray-haired gal, well into her 80s. She's got a bag. It's all she can do to carry it. She says, the name is Mrs. Weisenheimer. Now, the two gentlemen sitting on either side of me are Three Stooges fans and immediately see the reference and think she's still pulling my leg. Less than 2-3 weeks later, she calls me, and we get together, and out of this basement and out of this garage come the Lionel 226, a Markland long O-gauge French car, 265 steam engine with a set of freights. These people fled as Hitler closed the doors in Germany. It's a wonderful story, and it's a wonderful train from Mrs. Weisenheimer.
John's love of trains goes back to when he was a kid growing up on a farm in Grays Lake, Illinois. He and his dad enjoyed collecting Lionel O-gauge models. Life on the farm meant that you tinkered with things.
Growing up out on a farm and being somewhat mechanically inclined, my father figured out immediately that we were cheap labor. You know, everything from taking apart a piece of farm machinery with a cold chisel to working our way up to disassembling cars and rebuilding them.
John's love of tinkering with all kinds of gadgets led to a career as a contractor and a hobby of collecting vintage pinball machines and jukeboxes. He also had a collection of Schuko toys from Germany, which he played with as a kid.
I had a fairly large collection of about 35 antique machines, most of them old 1950s pieces that were stored in a barn at my father's farm where I was living in an apartment, and in 1978 the structure caught fire and we lost the collection. It basically was burned along with everything I had, save my pants, camera bag, and myself.
Even though recovering from the fire was difficult, John had collecting in his blood and searched for the next new novelty item. He turned to old die-cast automobiles for a while, but in time, John became entranced by the magic of trains once again. This time it was pre-war toy trains, a far cry from the realistic-looking Lionels he had as a kid.
The tin plate trains, the design, the art, the function, they're actually rolling pieces of art. I look at them and I realize the level of design that went into them and the manufacturing is a lost thing. Even today, people are making reproduction of these pieces, but they don't carry the charm, they don't carry the warmth that I think these hand-built things did from that era. The sound that a tin plate train, the rattle, trap, clatter, bang, slam that it makes going down the tracks, it's soothing. You look at the new LGB trains and they just kind of whoosh by, where this thing goes by and you know it went by and you know it's still going down the track, and damn, you know when it crashes.
John's wife Ina is also very involved with the train room. With her background as a window display artist and graphic designer, Ina adds an artistic flair to the layout.
She's just got a great eye for colors. We brought up 5 or 6 different paints. We set out a bunch of different accessories on the board and laid color up against to just see how it would complement itself. We came up with a Georgian brick red color for the layout, which is a little different than you see on most train boards.
John and Ina's collaboration really paid off when it came time to accessorize the layout. They have rare editions of specialty items, such as this power station with the name Edison on it. John has so many accessories that he decided to use some of them for separate displays. Ina helped him arrange this Lionel 200 turntable into attractive wall art. They've also turned these 444 roundhouses into a corner display. To John Potter, his trains are all about dreams.
You look at the toy that I had when I was a child, and it took me to Arizona and other places. You look at these toys in their antique value and the fact that these dreams have been dreamt by so many different people enticing the toy. and keeping the toy. Still, even today, I wonder what it would be like to be, in one of these little trains running around. The dreams are really kind of a continuance of the dreams I had as a child. I mean, all of us remember wanting to be somewhere else.